This is the Inner Slice Podcast. I'm Will.
I'm NATO.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome to today's show. We're going to start it off with a mystery topic from Tyler.
Wow, that was bad. So how much is too much for a bottle of whiskey, you think? How much are you not willing to spend for a bottle of whiskey?
Oh, so now that depends. Because, I'll spend $60 on a bottle of scotch.
Okay.
If
What's
I'm
the
just
most expensive whiskey you bought?
How expensive is Jameson? $25?
Oh, wow, you're a cheap date.
Yeah.
And then
But, so
scotch,
again, it depends. Because I drink scotch on the rocks. I don't usually drink whiskey on the rocks. I usually drink it mixed. So I usually buy Jameson.
So there's this new whiskey that's coming out. You can only pre-order it right now.
So wait, we're doing pre-orders on whiskey now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, why not? So it's Black Craft Barrel. It's more or less they teamed up with Metallica. They make a mixture of whiskey. They put it in their kegs, their blackened kegs, which is their claim to fame. And they play Metallica music, put subwoofers next to the kegs and make them, play music, which slightly, down to the molecular level, changes the whiskey and helps it develop.
So the same way a mother would put classical music to her belly?
Yeah, but with alcohol, which is way better.
Oh.
But that sounds like a bunch of marketing hogwash to me.
I know.
Hogwash, he said.
But they're selling it for about $50 for a bottle, so I don't know if that's a little too excessive, but...
So that's steep, but that's not ridiculous.
It's not, because Hennessy is $45 for a bottle.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
I want to...
Well, how about this? Does it come with a novelty Metallica bottle? 'Cause
I
if
don't
it
know.
does, and you're a Metallica
Yeah, are you
fan,
going to keep the bottle?
You would keep the bottle, right?
It just says Black Craft on the bottle and everything like that, and it just says inspired by and basically the cool thing about it is that when you go to their website and you click on it, it'll tell you a little about it, and it says there's a link to Spotify. You click on it, it gives you the playlist of the music that they play when they're doing the subwoofing molecular magic, what they do with whiskey and everything like that. It's kind of
Whiskey magic.
and each batch is a different set of sound waves that they send through it, apparently making it different slightly.
So this is the Enter Sandman batch.
Right, exactly.
This is the one batch.
Yeah, but that caught my attention. They announced it a few days ago, and they're coming out this fall, and it's for pre-order. They only made a few thousand of them, so I'm I don't know if I should jump the gun and get one and see if it's different or not, or do you think it's just too much of a gimmick?
It's probably gimmicky. I bet it tastes just the same as a cheap whiskey. I bet they didn't use that good of a whiskey. And if you were a Metallica fan, I'd say it's worth it because you got that bottle. It's kind of cool. It has a story behind it. You put it up on your mantle at home, and
You put whiskey bottles on a mantle, though?
I mean, on top of the
if
fridge.
you're a Metallica fan, you might.
If
okay?
you're a Metallica fan, you have whiskey bottles on your mantle. Okay.
You might have a Metallica whiskey bottle, though. Maybe you put it in your man cave. Okay, whatever.
Okay,
the point is, someone comes over to your house and goes, what the hell is that there for? And then you have a story to tell. It's a good,
icebreaker?
conversation starter. Yeah, an icebreaker.
I wasted $50 on a bottle of whiskey that tastes like piss, but they use Metallica music, so it's totally metal and hardcore.
Yeah, metal piss. So, to change subjects, I recently realized that I'm in fact 45 years old. I was, as a 45-year-old would do, they were browsing the Reddits, and I came across a post that used yeet in it, and I had no idea what it meant.
Yeet isn't even, popular today. That's 2 years ago. Yeet is so 2 years older.
So I had to go on Urban Dictionary and look up yeet to learn the definition of yeet. I realized I'm no longer in touch with the kids.
Oh, that happened
kids.
3 or 4 years ago.
Something doesn't feel right, a millennial saying the kids.
Right?
It just doesn't sound right.
I mean, there's 18-year-olds this year that are born in this millennia. That's kind of terrible.
That also doesn't feel right.
And they can vote.
I know. Oh, God.
So have you guys seen the newest Spider-Man trailer?
The release trailer?
The release trailer.
No.
I haven't either.
There is a lot of talk about downgrading in graphics.
So
We were
I've
talking
seen
a
some of
little
the
bit.
talk about it.
Okay,
I haven't
specifically,
seen the trailer itself.
there's a part where he is kind of like creeping the side of a building, and he sees a couple goons. And in the E3 trailer, the puddles were very
Pretty.
well. It looked like more water. And in this newest trailer, it doesn't even look like a downgrade to me. It just looks like they've reduced the amount of water.
They went through a drought.
Yeah. Like someone in a design team said, that looks like too much water. Let's move it a little bit. It doesn't really look like a graphics downgrade.
So I did see on Reddit, I saw a screenshot posted of the trailer and the same point from each thing. I didn't see the trailer, but I saw that screenshot, and it showed the screenshot from 2017, and it showed the screenshot from 2018. The 2018 honestly looked like it had better graphics.
I thought it looked better too. I don't really understand what all
The fuss is about.
Yeah.
People like to whine and cry.
Well, it's because they're all still butthurt about the Watch Dog debacle when they announced it and everything like that. And they were running it off of like really super nice graphics when they were announcing the new generation and everything. And when it came out, it was such a disappointment and downgrade on graphics.
Watch Dogs was a disappointment for more than just the graphics.
I know.
Well, my main complaint about Watch Dogs was if you ran up the stairs to a building, the reflection on like the door into the building would be like a road. Like there was no context to the reflection at all.
Right.
And so it screams this is being phoned in. And especially from a company as large as Ubisoft, where they have a lot of people who can work on a game that big, nothing about a game should scream phoned in.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. And then, but it's sort of endemic of the gamers today, because we have everyone whining and crying about like every game coming out. So we've got people are whining and crying about Battlefield 5. Like, there's a woman in it. It's historically inaccurate. We don't care.
Its Battlefield is never 100% accurate in the first place.
Yeah, we just want to play like a World War II inspired game and shoot some Nazis.
Do we need another historically accurate World War II game? There's one every 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't played a good one in a long time.
Well, the last good World War II shooter was World at War.
Didn't play it.
That was my favorite Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think that was the first Call of Duty that introduced like limbs being shot off.
It also had introduced the Pacific Front, if I recall correctly.
There was a Medal of Honor.
Oh, was there?
I think it was called the something Sun Rising, Pacific Sun Rising, something like that.
See, I never played any of those when I was younger.
There was also a Pearl Harbor one. Maybe that's the same one.
I don't know. I feel like it's always like you're fighting Nazis, but they always overlook the whole, Pacific Front and everything like that, and how bad it was.
Well, yeah, it wasn't really so. It wasn't as noble,
No.
if you can ever call war noble. And it's always told from an American perspective, and they don't want to tell that part of the perspective.
Why do you think there hasn't been a Vietnam game ever made?
Yeah, no one wants to tell that story.
Well,
might be a really interesting.
In the mid 2000s, so PlayStation 2 had a shooter. I don't remember who made it, but each game was Conflict. So there was like a Conflict Desert Storm, Conflict Desert Storm 2. I think actually they started on the Super Nintendo with Conflict Desert Storm. Anyway, they made a Conflict Vietnam, which was a you could play split screen. It had 4 characters, and if you played split screen, each person would control 2 characters. So there was like a sniper, a heavy artillery, a machine gun, and a medic.
Okay, so it's like a squad-based thing, sort of like Tom Clancy.
Yeah, very similar, and it was fun. I remember enjoying it in my youth.
In my youth, my parents didn't let me have violent video games,
Oh.
so that was out of the subject. I
Didn't
had to
they-
hide Halo from them.
Oh, God. Didn't they also have a little bit of Vietnam in one of the Black Ops games or something like that? Wasn't the first
I
Black
believe
Ops?
I believe the first Black Ops had a Vietnam level on it.
Yeah. Which was kind of cool, and I was surprised that they haven't really jumped on that.
Did the first one also have a Bay of Pigs level, or was that the second one?
That's the first one.
Okay. So I think that must have just encompassed the whole Cold War.
Yeah. Kind of. Basically, the Cuban Missile Crisis basically is the center piece of it. But, anyways.
Show me the numbers.
Mason! Numbers!
To get back on that same topic of gamers whining, though, we were having a conversation about this earlier. And you mentioned another game that they were whining about, the internet.
Which one?
I do not remember.
There's a lot of them.
Was it Cyberpunk?
Oh, God.
No? I haven't seen a lot of whining about Cyberpunk, though.
That was it. A lot of people were upset that Cyberpunk, when they did their big old game demo reveal, that a lot of people are upset that it's first person.
Oh,
We were talking about it a little bit last night.
That's right. And it's like...
People got super hyped up about this because it was like the really super nice CG kind of graphics and everything like that, and no real gameplay. And they finally released gameplay, and then all of a sudden, everyone, like, a lot of people are like super cool about it, and then there's a lot of people are like, I don't like first person kind of thing, and like a lot of people got super upset about it.
Right. In that gameplay trailer, they did show that you could go from first person to third person when you're driving a vehicle, which is interesting, and it makes me wonder if maybe they are planning on third person for, when you're walking around as a person, or if maybe they do have that already implemented, or it just isn't working quite right yet, so they just stuck with the first person. Maybe they don't have the animations right for the character yet.
Yeah. Because
there's an extremely scripted, 40-minute gameplay trailer of hardly even playing a game. It just looked like...
Well, that's what everyone does now these days, is they always have a big scripted event and call it in-game.
Right, and they just don't want to have it mess up on screen.
Oh, yeah, they don't want any debacle, kind of make themselves look like an idiot.
Of course.
Well, that's kind of similar to the We Happy Few demo, or, well, I guess the gameplay demo that was at E3.
I didn't see it, and I'm sort of upset I didn't, because I saw the trailer and I thought it looked cool.
Well, so the plan for We Happy Few was going to be basically this is going on, you break free from it, and then from then on it's a survival game. But they built, within the first 20 minutes of the game, such a world that gamers were upset. They wanted to live in that world, they wanted to explore. It has a very BioShock feel to it.
I would agree, yeah. It does have a similar feel to that.
Which I think how long BioShock Infinite was, 2013?
Gosh, I don't even
know.
God.
So there's
too long ago.
There's a clamoring for that type of feel for a video game because it's been so long.
Doesn't that game also have permadeath in it? You die and you start off as a different person kind of thing and kind of pick up where you left off?
That I'm not sure about.
If I recall correctly, that's kind of how it went.
Permadeath is an interesting concept. It's kind of not fun.
I don't know who it appeals to. It does not appeal to me.
I don't know either, although I admit one permadeath game that I've always very much enjoyed is FTL, Faster Than Light. It's a wonderful permadeath sort of game.
I really thought you were going to say Minecraft Hardcore.
Oh, God. Well, I was going to say Zombie U is also really fun. I don't know either. I know you haven't, but have you?
I have not.
So it's zombies in London, and literally you kind of build up your character, and then you kind of go out and you just kind of scavenge and kind of do the story, and then your character dies from getting bit once. All it takes is one bite, and you're dead.
I think I may have seen YouTube videos of this.
Yeah, and then you start off back in a safe house of a different survivor that got there, and then you have to go back out into the world. You're starting off with nothing, basically, just your backpack and maybe, I think, a knife or a handgun. And you go back out into the world, and it's exactly how you left it. You gotta find your previous character you played, kill them as a zombie to get your loot back, and then you pick up the story from there, basically.
That sounds very similar to how... It's an Xbox exclusive. It's on Games Pass. I cannot think of the name. It's the... They just came out with the second one that was kind of the push for Games Pass. Oh, I know you've played it. I just cannot...
Isn't it State of Decay?
Yeah, State of Decay.
Okay, yeah.
Very similar to State of Decay.
Yeah, basically, except for you kind of switch out, I don't know, that game was something else. It's so much of the rehash of the same exact game. Almost.
That's why
I lost my interest in it.
I didn't play it because it looked very similar to the same game in just a different area. And I did see a little bit of the multiplayer being played, and it looked not complete.
Speaking of multiplayer, also Halo was playing Master Chief Collection. Have we told you about that?
What?
Nano, about Halo 2 Legendary is the saddest thing in our existence right now.
What do you mean by saddest thing in your existence?
They have the Iron Skull is automatically on, I think. Is that skull? Where if you die, you
if one of you die, yes.
You revert back to the...
Okay, that's not the worst skull, though. The worst
No.
skull is without the
The HUD.
blind skull. That's the worst skull.
But what happened is that it took us how long? What, an hour and a
Oh my
half?
gosh. It took us longer than that.
Almost
I think.
2 hours
We spent
to do
like
the first
2
level.
hours just to do the first level. Yeah.
That sounds like legendary though.
It's not because we played through the first game on Legendary in, I don't know, probably like 5 hours. We're not that good.
Well, it's also been a while since you guys have played Halo, right?
That's true.
Yeah, it's also that's I would say it took us about 30 minutes to readjust to the new controls and everything like that. But then we were so confused for a long time when we kept on reverting back to that first kind of interaction when the Covenant came in and everything like that. And then we're like, oh. So then it just became a endless cycle. Where there was a particular part where me and Will were stuck. I was in the middle of charging into a group of elites and grunts. And Will had to shoot at the elite to grab his attention, or else he'll just turn around and smack me and kill me. It was an endless cycle of that for a long time.
Halo does have some pretty unique respawn or checkpoints, I guess I should say, where you can be checkpointed turning completely around.
Yeah.
Or it'll be that we're stuck in an area and it keeps on reverting us back to this checkpoint, and then after 45 minutes it'll never give us a new checkpoint, so we keep on repeating that same scenario over, and then all of a sudden it'll give us a checkpoint, then we'll walk 5 more steps and it gives us a second checkpoint. We're
Right. It's
why?
It's a kind of a very random checkpoint system. Speaking of Halo, how about that download?
Oh my
I
goodness.
thought you were crazy when you had that download.
Yeah, we were like, why do you have a 70 gig download? Did you accidentally delete the game?
70 gig download for an update.
Yeah, that's about the size of the game already. And so now the game is twice that size. I really hope it overwrit some.
I believe it did because the Xbox is stock with a 1 terabyte,
Right.
and so
500 gigs is mine.
was it 500? Maybe
Yeah,
mine's
sad
500 too.
500 gigs.
Oh, I think mine's probably 500 too. Mine was one of the first.
Mhm.
Well, mine must be 500 also. Then.
Now they can all come out with 1 terabyte.
Wishful thinking, I guess. But it's got to be around a quarter of my hard drive is just Halo now.
I had to delete Fallout 4, and then all of a sudden, on my YouTube feed, it just started saying 5 things you didn't notice in Fallout, or 5 unique enemies and everything. I've been watching those. I'm like,
Those good old
I
clickbait
really want.
titles.
Yeah, and then I kept on clicking them, and I'm like, I really want to play Fallout now. I'm like, God damn it!
You know what's great? I've got a PC and I can play Fallout whenever I want because I've got a 3 terabyte hard drive on it.
Well, you're a suckbag, suckbag.
Well, anyways,
my face.
I think we're ready to wrap up, don't you?
That sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later, suckbags.